right, listen up, gentlemen, because this is going to be one of the most powerful tools in your dating toolbox. And one of these I have never talked about before. I've never ever seen any other dating coach talk about it. And these are the top 3 forbidden compliments that will absolutely make a woman drool over you and get completely obsessed to the point where these women are going against their own female nature and even start to chase after you. Now picture this. You're standing there face to face with a woman that has you completely hypnotized. She has you completely mesmerized by her beauty, where everything about her is just making your blood rush and your heart wants to stop, almost like you are frozen there in place. But now, what if you had the power to say just a couple simple words, but deeply impactful words that can emotionally move that woman until the point where she's almost like shaking inside, where you can move her so far off her center that you make yourself undeniable to that woman and leave her thinking about you long after that conversation is over. Leave her thinking to herself, why does this guy treat me differently? Why can't I stop thinking about this guy? That is the power of what I'm going to show you here today. But gentlemen, this is the cold hard truth. 99% of men fail miserably at doing this. In fact, most men give women compliments that on the surface seem like they get a good reaction. On the surface, it looks like it's working. But in reality, the compliments men give only push the girl further away. Okay, I'm gonna say that again, gentlemen. What most men do is they give women compliments that seem to get a good reaction at first, right? The woman smiles, she's happy with the compliment, she feels validated, maybe she blushes a little bit, but ultimately that compliment pushes her away and makes you look low value to her. And this is because most men simply don't understand what women really crave deep down. Okay, what women really crave deep down, what they're really hungry for are compliments like these that go beyond the surface level of, you're so beautiful. Okay, women crave compliments that hit them on a far deeper level than that. And that's where the real power lies. When you can pierce her heart and bore deep into her soul with a compliment that's not about impressing her, but instead rewires how she sees you on a fundamentally new level. Now, before we get to the magic formula right here and giving women the kind of compliment that hits her right here deep in the chest, let's talk about what not to do, because this is where most men screwed up, and they screwed up really badly, okay? Most men have no clue on how to compliment a woman the right way, in a way that builds attraction with her. And the reason that I know this is from my 20 years of experience coaching men. So guys, this isn't just some theory, and this is the exact same mistake I used to make back in the day myself. What so many men get wrong is they just toss the woman this generic beauty compliment like, you're so pretty, you're so beautiful, oh my God, you're absolutely stunning, girl, I had to come up and talk to you. Which on the surface sounds pretty good, right? Might sound kind of confident. You could say it sounds pretty bold. The girl will even give you a very positive reaction at first, right? Because you're stirring up this powerful emotional reaction in her, at least in the first moment, where she's gonna blush a little, she might smile, she might thank you with that sweet feminine voice that just melts your heart. And I've given these types of compliments, guys, plenty of times myself, so I know exactly what kind of reaction women will give you there. But the problem here, gentlemen, the big problem with this is you are getting false feedback from that girl. You think that you're getting ahead. You think that you're getting somewhere with her based off her positive reaction. But what you're not realizing is you have just given away all of your power. You have given away all of your sway over her. And what those compliments like, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, what they're really telling her is, you have already won me over, girl. You don't have to do anything else. I am already, as a man, fully bought into you. So the chase is over. You got me. And now you have essentially skipped over that entire dance of attraction. You have now made it too easy for that girl, and you have robbed her of the opportunity to chase after your validation, which is a critical mistake, gentlemen, because you just handed all of your validation to that girl on a silver platter, and she didn't have to do anything to earn it. And because she didn't have to do anything to earn it, she will not value it. So your interest in her won't mean anything to her. And when you give her a compliment like you're beautiful or you're stunning, you're basically saying to that woman, that pretty face of yours, that's all it took to win me over. Okay? You're essentially communicating to her that you have no standards beyond her looks, no standards beyond that pretty face, and she will peg you as being superficial. She will peg you as being inexperienced with beautiful women like herself. She will peg you as being low status. And she'll subconsciously think to herself about you, well, if this guy is so easily impressed, it means he probably doesn't date girls like me. Because if he did date girls like me, he wouldn't be so easily won over just like that. If this guy did date women like me, he'd have higher standards than just my face, and she won't respect you for that. So she'll give you that smile in the moment, and look, it's gonna be a genuine smile because women love attention. Women love validation. And she'll thank you very politely, and then she's gonna tell you, well, I have a boyfriend. Not necessarily because she's taken, but because she sees you as being down here and you're putting her up here on a pedestal. And women will only ever date the guy that they feel like is on the same level as them or above them. Women will only date the guy that they feel like they have to chase after, and you're not giving her that space to chase after you. Now, if talking to particularly attractive women is a problem for you, right? If you've ever felt awkward or anxious or invisible around the girls you really want, or you've been ghosted or ignored or rejected before, listen, my name is Jesse, and I've been coaching for the last 20 years. I've been coaching men just like yourself, and we're talking about smart guys, very driven guys, but guys who can't seem to unlock this part of their life, where you simply walk up to that gorgeous girl you see out and about and say something to her that's smooth and confident and real, where she actually lights up and responds to you with interest. And I've worked with hundreds of men over the years to get them that one woman that they thought was out of their league by reprogramming their brain at a deep core level with a special method called visual neural programming, so that there's no more overthinking it, no more freezing up when you see her, and no more watching her walk away while your heart is like pounding out of your chest and your mouth just stays shut. And I walk you through specific visualization exercises that literally rebuild your inner self-image, so you become the kind of man that can flirt effortlessly with women, whether it's at the grocery store, at the bank, or in the park, or anywhere else that life throws a beautiful woman into your path. I also give you exact conversation structures to follow, from the very first words you're going to say to that woman that you meet, all the way to getting her phone number and taking her out on a fun date. So everything comes out natural feeling, smooth and charismatic, and you're working with me directly and personally. So if going on fun dates every week with new girls is something that you want to learn how to do, and I'm sure you do want to learn how to do that, go right here to youngerpartner.com. Fill out the short application you see there, and you and I can hop on a free breakthrough call together where it's no pressure, no BS, just real coaching to get your real results. All right, guys, let's cut right to the chase. The first type of compliment that's really gonna bowl her over, that's gonna light her up like a Christmas tree and leave her thinking about you long after that conversation is over, it's this. You're gonna find something specific about her. You're gonna find something unique that you notice about her, and tell her how that thing that you noticed about her is very feminine. Okay, so let's break it down. Instead of telling her you're beautiful or you're so hot, which is very predictable and very generic and doesn't make her feel special in any way, you're gonna notice something unique, something specific about her, and label that thing that you notice about her as being feminine rather than, say, attractive. So let's say, for example, you notice the way she dresses. You notice her outfit. It's very unique. It's special about her. You might tell her, hey, by the way, I like your outfit. I love the way you dress. It's very feminine. Or you might notice the way she moves, the way she carries herself. Hey, you know, the way you walk, you have a very feminine walk. I mean, it really caught my eye. Or you might notice, like, even her facial expressions. You know, you have very feminine facial expressions. I love the way you smile. So for one, these are light compliments. That's one of the keys to making this work. They also hit a lot harder because they're specific to her. And they're not over the top, they're light. They say to her, yes, I noticed you. Yes, you caught my attention, right? That creates that masculine frame. I'm a masculine man. I'm recognizing the feminine woman in you. So that's the man to woman frame there. But at the same time, it's like, but no, you do not have me yet. We're still in that flirtation zone. And that's the magic combo that hits that woman hard emotionally. Now, the key to making this work, and I've said this before, is you gotta make it specific to the girl. It has to be unique to the girl. It has to make her feel special or different in some way. You're not gonna just make a generic statement and then slap the word feminine on it, okay? So as you talk to her, you have to pick one thing that's unique to her. And that could be like her posture, right? You might tell her, hey, I just love the way you carry yourself in such a feminine manner, okay? Or her bubbly energy. Hey, I like that feminine, bubbly energy you got. It's very rare to find. Or it could even be the way she's playing with her necklace. Hey, that's very feminine, I like it. Because look, reality is, every other guy out there is gonna tell her that she's pretty. Every other guy out there is gonna tell her that she's hot. But that does not make her feel special. It does not make her feel unique. And almost no guy out there is gonna tell her, hey, you know what, girl? But you carry yourself in a very feminine way. And that's the kind of compliment that gets inside of her head. That's the kind of compliment that hits her hard emotionally, right here in the soul. And she'll remember you for weeks afterward. Now, another type of compliment you can use to make yourself stand out with a woman that's gonna have her remembering you long after that conversation is over. It's not the, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so pretty, you're my goddess kind of compliment, but it's rather a push-pull compliment. And a push-pull compliment, it's one half a light compliment, and the other half is a light teasing jab, okay? So it's part warm, and it's also a little bit cold. It pulls her in, and at the same time, pushes her away just slightly, creates a little bit of space. And it's the tension between that push and that pull, it's that mixed signaling that you're giving her, that's what hits her hard. For example, you might tell a girl, damn, you are so short, girl. You are absolutely tiny. But look, I love it, okay? Normally I would go for taller girls, but with you, I mean, it kind of works. So here you're complimenting her on a trait that might not be ideal exactly, like her height, the fact that she's on the short side, but you also notice something very unique, very specific about her. You made it man to woman, you're showing her intent, there's a bit of a pull there, but it's also a playful tease. It's also a light jab. And that puts her in the position of wanting to prove to you that she is worth it, that she has to fight to win over your full approval. Or you might say to her, for example, hey, you know, girl, your eyes have this sparkle to them. It is so fucking annoying me right now. Okay, so you got the pull, the eyes sparkle, and you got that little bit of a push, that little bit of a jab, that it's annoying you. And that kind of compliment, what it does is it spikes up her emotions because it's not the same boring, flat, predictable compliment that every other guy is gonna give her. So I'll give you one more example here. You might say to her, hey Amanda, look, I gotta say, I'm a little bit surprised. That little laugh of yours, it's actually starting to grow on me a little bit. I don't quite know why I like it, but I do. So you see here, you're not just giving her flat praise. She hasn't won you over yet. There's a pull to it for certain. I mean, it's definitely a compliment, but there's also a little bit of a jab, a little bit of a push. It tells her, yeah, well, Amanda, I'm intrigued by you for sure, but no, I'm not 100% sold on you yet. No, I'm not all in yet. And it's that ambiguity in how you feel about her that leaves her space to want to try to win you over more. It leaves her space to keep flirting and keep investing and keep chasing after your validation and your approval. And that's precisely what's gonna make you stand out and leave that girl remembering you forever. Now, yet another type of compliment that's really gonna hit that woman hard, it's really gonna hit her hard right here in the heart where it really counts, is you wanna give her a compliment on a deep personality trait. You wanna find something specific about her and give her a compliment on a deep personality characteristic and tell her how it's affecting you. Now, most men will never do this, but I guarantee if you do start doing this, you will stand head and shoulders above any other guy she's ever met. So let's say, for example, that you are 30 minutes deep into a conversation and you're talking to this woman and you've learned that she's very passionate about her career. You've learned that she's very disciplined. You've learned that she's a very driven woman. So you might look her right in the eye and tell her, you know, Amanda, this might sound a little bit cheesy, but I really admire how hardworking you are and how dedicated you are. And you know, most women nowadays are very entitled, maybe a little bit lazy, but you are different. Kind of reminds me that I should stay focused on my goals and follow my passion as well. And I kind of really feel like we could learn a lot from each other. And that's not flirty, it's not sexual, that is soul level. That kind of compliment is gonna hit her right here because you're validating something deeper inside of her and making her feel special for it. And that's a rare feeling that most men will never, ever give her. So I'll give you one more example here. Let's say she's telling you all about her trips overseas to Japan, she traveled to Korea, she went to Thailand. So you might tell her, hey Amanda, that's incredible. Seems like you've been everywhere. I love that you are so adventurous, right? Adventurous. Compliment a deep personality trait of hers. In this case, how she's adventurous. That is very rare to find in a woman, Amanda. You make me want to book a flight and go see more of the world myself. That's how you relate it back to yourself. And then boom, you have just planted yourself in her emotional memory like a tattoo. Now here's the key to making this work, guys. That deep personality trait that you choose has to match the girl. It has to be genuine to the girl. So you do need to get to know her a little bit to make this work. But here's the thing. I have used these deep personality compliments dozens of times before, and guys, they always hit hard. These kind of compliments always hit really, really hard. Women absolutely go gaga for them. And it's one of the very best kind of compliments you can ever give a woman. All right, gentlemen, since you enjoyed this video, you want to watch this one next. How to get your female friend horny for you in 15 seconds flat. This is the switch you need to flip to go from friend zone to date. To go from friend zone to lover, to go from friend zone to get that female friend that you got your eye on crushing on you hard. So go watch that video right now.